Tell me, what is a shot blaster and how it operates?
Well, in the simplest sense, it's like a sandblaster. A shot blaster is accelerating a media at the surface. In the case of a shot blaster, it's going to be steel media. The media is accelerated at the surface with the intent that when it hits, it's going to break away small pieces of the concrete or the substrate, whether it's steel or concrete. The material that's removed is then rebounded and taken back to the dust collector so that the surface is completely clean, because it's all done in a closed circuit. So it's very similar to sandblasting, which normally equates to a lot of dust as the material is accelerated at the surface, and as waste is made, it flies everywhere. Inside a shot blaster, the intent is that it breaks away the pieces, removes whatever's on the surface of the concrete, and then removes it right to the dust collector. So it leaves a nice profile, whatever the manufacturer might specify, and also it's immaculately clean.
Let's talk a little bit about the specific mechanics of a shot blaster and how it operates. How does the shot actually physically alter the condition of the floor?
Well, inside the blast housing, which is where the shot blast wheel is contained, that's where the shot falls into, and that wheel spinning at 6,600 RPMs, the shot falls out of the hopper that's just above it by gravity. When it hits that rotating wheel, the wheel will accelerate the shot. So that is how the shot gets moving. So as the shot is thrown to the floor at a certain speed or velocity, the pieces of steel that make up the mass of the abrasive, the shot itself, they're literally hitting the surface of the concrete and breaking a small piece of it away. And when it hits the floor, the piece of sand that it takes with it is equal to or a little bit bigger than that piece of shot, depending on the hardness of the concrete. So they're very small pieces of metal. They're not very large. They're hitting the concrete and eroding it like sandblasting or like power washing, where it just breaks away small pieces that eventually add up to large amounts of volume. Once that takes place and those pieces are broken free, the machine is run under negative pressure thanks to a dust collector. So as the shot hits, the dust is created. The shot and the dust both bounce off the ground, partially because of rebound or ricochet. As it bounces up, the negative pressure from the dust collector then takes over from there in the circuit, lifts the shot and the dust to the top of the circuit. The dust, being lighter, gets cycled out to the vacuum or the dust collector. The shot, if it's still usable, because it can be used over and over until itself is depleted to the point of dust, the shot will then go back into the rotation, and then the circuit starts again.
So the shot would continue to go around and rebound and round and round until it becomes so small that it's affected by the dust collector and gets sucked out because it's no longer providing any advantage in the process.
Yeah, I mean, its mass has been reduced to the point where it's dust itself.
So the shot is a consumable that is used until it's gone. Are there any wearable parts in a shot blaster that a contractor should be aware of, should keep an eye out for?
Yes, there definitely are consumable items on a shot blaster, because what's happening is the steel shot itself is not abrasive on a machine, but the dust that it makes, the concrete dust, very much so is abrasive. And as that circuit is being run and the shot is thrown at the ground and makes dust, you now have dusty shot. Well, that shot moving through the system is going to wear away at anything that it comes in contact with, which is why the inside of a shot blaster will have lining system. We'll have a lining system that is made of manganese and actually is along the inside of the housing itself, because that's where it's known by the engineers of the machine that the dusty shot is going to pass and would otherwise literally eat a hole through the side of the housing. And then also the shot blast wheel itself is made of the same material. Again, the same reason, because that shot, when it falls into that wheel spinning at 6,600 RPMs, the shot doesn't hurt the wheel, but the dust that's encapsulating the shot, very small amount, but just enough, and again, a million times over, that metal is being abraded by that dust continuously. If a blast wheel is not replaced, it will eventually break. It will eventually shatter. At that point, there's no choice. It has to be replaced because the machine it cannot be run at that point. Liners can be ignored, but liners are there to protect the housing. So if the liners are not changed on a regular basis, what they're protecting, as they start to wear away, literally the shot and the dust will eat a hole through the side of the machine. The blast wheel, I always tell people I would check it every 20 hours. If a shot blast wheel is showing wear at 20 hours, then there's a good chance that the concrete that's being blasted has been abrasive, because that's a pretty fast wear on a blast wheel. But it's always best to know ahead of time the condition of a wearable part before the process starts, because the most expensive time to fix something is when it breaks unexpectedly on a job. So